Buongiorno, sono Danielle. Benvenuti o bentornati al mio canale. So tonight's lesson is going to be on saluti or greetings and different ways that you can express things when you first meet somebody. I did do a video on greetings a long time ago, a few years ago, but I want to update it because I feel like I forgot to say some other important words that you want to know. Va bene? So let's start off with talking about the way that you address people in Italian. It's different than in English. So in Italian, there's a formal aspect to the language. And this includes different words that you use in a more formal setting, and also a different verb conjugation that you're going to use when you're talking to somebody in a formal way. This is a foreign concept to Americans. We don't have this at all in the English language. So what formal means is that you don't know the person, or you don't know them very well, or you want to show them respect somehow. Maybe they're older than you, or maybe it's your professor or your doctor or something like that. So in these contexts, you're going to use this formal form, which is contrasted with the informal form, which you're going to use with your close family, your peers, your colleagues at school, and in more close-knitted environments, okay? So when you're traveling, you always want to use the formal form when you meet people because you're meeting them for the first time, right? So I'm going to introduce some words now that you're going to use to say hello to people. And so I have them written down here on my whiteboard. And what you'll notice is that the first three words can be either hello or goodbye. So you can use them when you're greeting somebody to begin with, or you can use them at the end when you're saying goodbye. So, ripetete, buongiorno. I said that in the beginning of this lesson. Buongiorno is hello, but giorno means day, so you're only going to say this during the day. If it's evening, you're going to say buonasera. Hope you're repeating at home. And then you can also say salve. Salve. So salve, you can use it all throughout the day, okay? But these are specific to the time of day. This, on the other hand, this word down here is only for goodbye. You can't use that as hello. So rivedete, arrivederla, benissimo. So another thing that's different about Italian and English is when you address people, often you're going to say sir or ma'am or miss, or even you will oftentimes say the title of somebody's profession. It's actually common for people to address each other by the title of the work that they do, okay? So I wrote a list here of things that you can say after you say salve or buongiorno or buonasera, okay? So here, if you want to say sir, you would say signore. And then the word for ma'am is signora. So notice over here that I wrote Signor Angelini. So if you're calling somebody Mr., this is Mr. Angelini, then you're going to drop the E of signore. So you would just say Signor Angelini. And with the signora, you're not going to drop the final vowel. You would say Signora Angelini. Va bene? Then the word for miss is signorina. I hope you're repeating all these words after me. Molto bene. And then, like I said, they will address people with the titles of their profession. So if you see your professor, you can say salve professore, salve professore. Or if your professor is a woman, you're going to put essa on the end of the word. So this is going to distinguish many professions that people have from the male to the female. So professoressa. So you could say to me when you come into class, buongiorno professoressa. Benissimo. And here's another example where you add essa on the end to the title, and that distinguishes the gender. So dottore, dottoressa. Va bene. Ok, andiamo avanti. So now when you want to say hi or bye to your friends that you're in an informal situation with, these are going to be your options. So you probably all know this word already, ciao. Ciao means hi or bye, and it's informal, informale, okay? So the choices for saying goodbye, you can say arrivederci, benissimo, or you could say ci vediamo. Both of those mean bye, we'll see each other later. So if you noticed when we did the formal goodbye, we said arrivederla. Arrivederci is the informal way to say arrivederla. Va bene? And now I want to show you some things that are sort of neutral, where you can say them either in an informal or a formal setting, and it doesn't really matter. And there are also ways to say goodbye. So la prima frase, ripetete, a più tardi. A più tardi is until later. So the a that starts all of these phrases means until, okay? La prossima, a domani. Domani is tomorrow, so this is saying until tomorrow. A domani. Poi, a presto. Presto means soon, so you're saying until soon or see you soon. Poi, a dopo. A dopo means until later, va bene? And then the last two here are ways to say have a good day and have a good evening. So if you want to say to somebody when you're leaving, have a good day, say buona giornata. And contrast that with just saying buongiorno, that's saying goodbye in the day. Buona giornata, have a good day. And then if you want to tell somebody to say have a good evening, you would say buona serata. Benissimo. If you want to say good night to somebody, like you're going to bed, you would say buonanotte. Buonanotte. That means it's late at night and you're going to bed. You wouldn't say that in the evening around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. You would say buonasera or buona serata. Va bene? So after you've said hello ma'am, buongiorno signora, or salve signore, and you've gotten the hello out of the way, you want to meet somebody and you want to ask what their name is and you don't know them, so it's a formal situation, you're going to say this, okay? This is how to ask somebody what's your name or what do you call yourself. So ripetete, come si chiama? Molto bene. And then they might ask you back, and after you say what your name is, and I'll tell you how to say that in a minute, they might say, and you? And the way to say that formally is e lei. And you could remember this here, e lei, because sometimes in conversation, you're asking each other the same thing, and instead of repeating the question, how are you doing? How are you doing? You can say, and you, okay? So this is important to remember, e lei. And remember, this is formal. So the lei is how to say you in the formal form. You singular, okay? One person, you're talking to one person. So here, if you want to say after you meet somebody, pleased to meet you, you're going to say piacere di conoscerla. Piacere di conoscerla. So now I'm going to teach you how to ask somebody what their name is in an informal setting. So obviously you don't know the person. So this would be, maybe you're a student in school and you're meeting your peers, okay? So it's not a formal setting, it's going to be informal. The phrase is informal, come ti chiami? Come ti chiami? What's your name? What do you call yourself? And then again, if you don't want to ask that back, and you just want to say and you would say e tu. So tu is the pronoun, the subject pronoun to say you, singular and informally, okay? And then if you want to say pleased to meet you, you say this almost the same thing, but the pronoun on the end changes from la to ti. So ripetete, piacere di conoscerti. Piacere di conoscerti. Benissimo. So now, what do you say when somebody asks you what your name is? I need to teach you how to say that. So the answer to the response, either come si chiama or come ti chiami, is going to be mi chiamo, and then you say your name. Mi chiamo Danielle. Or if we're in Italy, I could change my name to the Italian form of Danielle, which is Daniela, and I could say mi chiamo Daniela. And then here, this is not informal or formal. If you're just saying that you're pleased to meet somebody, you can just say piacere. Piacere means pleased. You could also say my pleasure. So you would say piacere mio. Piacere mio. Va bene? So now you've said hello, you've asked what the person's name is, you said you're pleased that you've met them. Now you want to ask how they're doing, okay? So I wrote these next to each other here so you could see. If you're in a formal situation, you're going to ask one person, come sta? Come sta? And if the situation is informal, informale, you will ask, come stai? Benissimo. How are you doing? Okay? And I also wrote up here at the top, in the neutral section, come va? Come va means how is it going? So you're not directing it to the person, it's how are things going? Come va? Okay? So these answers you can answer for come sta or come stai. You could say sto bene. Sto bene means I am doing well. If you're doing really well, you can say benissimo. You can omit the sto if you want. If somebody asks you come stai, come sta, you can say bene. It's nice to say thank you too when somebody asks you how you're doing. So you can add grazie. Grazie is one of the most important Italian words to remember. Saying thank you is really important. So somebody asks you, come stai? And you say, sto bene, grazie. E tu? And then you ask them. Or you might say, sto benissimo, grazie. I'm doing really well if you're having a great day. Other choices, you can say, non c'è male. Non c'è male literally means there is not bad. So nothing bad is happening. Non c'è male. If you want to say everything is good too, everything literally is in place. That's what this means. Tutto a posto. Tutto a posto. I like that answer a lot. And then the last one here, if things are just okay, so, you're going to say così, così. Così, così. Because there's an accent on the last I in both of those words. So you need to rise up at the end. Va bene? So if somebody asks you come va, don't respond with sto. Respond with va. Va bene if you're going to use a verb. Otherwise, the rest of these answers work. You can say non c'è male, tutto a posto, così così, okay? But the sto would be replaced with va. It's going well, okay? The last words we're going to do are also neutral, no formale or informale, but they're really important words. The first one we just looked at is the way to say thank you, grazie, rivedete, grazie, thank you. And then to say you're welcome, you can say prego, prego. You can also say di niente, di niente. And then the way to say please is per favore, per favore, molto bene, molto vocabulario. I just gave you a ton of new words. So watch this as many times as you need to. Maybe you were taking notes during the video. That always helps. So now we're going to do a little quiz where I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer, okay? So as always, you can stop the video because I don't take a lot of time in between each question, okay? Okay, so if I say to you, it's daytime and I'm saying, buongiorno, what could you say back to me? You could say, buongiorno back. That totally works. You could also say, salve. You can't say buonasera because it's not evening time, it's daytime, okay? Molto bene. So now if I say to you, buonasera, what could you say back? So now we know it's evening, so you can't use buongiorno, but the rest of the things that we learned, you can use, okay? So there's a lot. You could say buonasera back. You could say salve. You could say arrivederla, buona serata. And then you could also say all of those other expressions that we learned. A più tardi, a presto, a domani, okay? Any of those will work. A dopo, molte cose, lots of things, lots of choices. So now if I say to you, ciao, and I'm saying goodbye, what could you say back? So now you could also say ciao, or you could say arrivederci, ci vediamo, and then you could also say the words that we just used in the formal context that are neutral. You could say a più tardi, a dopo, a presto, a domani. Bene. The important thing is that you remember the words that are formal and the words that are informal and stick together with those, okay? So if I ask you, come si chiama? What would you answer? Mi chiamo Daniela. But your name is probably not Daniela, so you would say whatever your name is. Mi chiamo Fred. Mi chiamo Sarah. Va bene? And if I say to you, come si chiama, and you answer, what could you say back to me to ask me what my name is? You could say, come si chiama again, but if you don't want to repeat the same question, you could merely ask, e lei? E lei, because I used the formal form when I asked you what your name is, right? And so you have to use that formal pronoun when you respond. Did you catch that? Benissimo. L'ultima domanda, if I asked you, come stai? How would you answer? Here there are a lot of choices, right? You can say, sto bene. You can say, benissimo, grazie. You could also say, non c'è male, tutto a posto, così così. Hopefully you won't say, sto male, I'm doing badly. Hopefully not. Va bene? And then this isn't a question. So if I say to you, grazie, what would you respond with? You would say, prego. Or you'd say, di niente. Did you get that? Molto bene. Bravi. Very good job. Ok, basta così. Abbiamo finito. Allora, buona giornata e ci vediamo presto. So I put two things there together that we had learned that I didn't teach you, but did you understand what it meant? I told you presto means soon, and ci vediamo means we'll see each other. So ci vediamo presto. We'll see each other soon. Okay? Ciao!